He stepped into a role unlike any other in the modern world, taking command of a nuclear-armed nation in his 20s with total authority. His actions often appear contradictory. He ordered the executions of his own family members, including his uncle and his half-brother, yet openly befriended American basketball star Dennis Rodman. When he rapidly expanded a nuclear arsenal capable of striking the United States, he gained a reputation as a reckless dictator on a suicide mission. But there is a danger in this assumption. If we view a leader as purely irrational, predicting his next move becomes impossible. Kim Jong-un is following a specific script. He is using a ruthless, logical blueprint for regime survival, first drafted by his grandfather at the end of the Second World War. This photograph shows a U.S. military truck crossing the 38th parallel, the line where the Soviet Union and the United States divided Korea. In the north, Joseph Stalin chose a young guerrilla fighter named Kim Il-sung to lead the new communist state. Kim attempted to forcibly reunite the peninsula in 1950, launching an invasion of the South. That move triggered a massive military intervention by the United States. The bottom half of this image shows the result of that conflict. Over 3 years, U.S. bombers dropped 200,000 bombs on Pyongyang, roughly one for every person in the city, leaving it a landscape of empty chimneys. By 1953, the war reached a stalemate. With his country in ruins and his benefactor Stalin dead, Kim realized his regime was completely vulnerable to both internal and external threats. He responded by sealing North Korea off from the world, creating a hermit kingdom where he could violently purge critics without outside interference. He implemented Songbun, a caste system categorizing citizens into 3 groups: loyal, wavering, or hostile. The hostile label carried a collective price. If one person was identified as a dissident, the state seized their entire extended family and sent them to labor camps together. The destruction of the war proved that total physical and psychological control was the only way to ensure the Kim family remained in power. As Kim Il-sung aged, his son, Kim Jong-il, used state propaganda to transform his father from a military leader into a godlike figure. To maintain this image, the regime needed a monster. By portraying the United States as a constant, looming threat, the Kims could position themselves as the nation's only protectors. This is the USS Pueblo. In 1968, Kim Il-sung ordered the capture of this unarmed American intelligence ship and its crew of 82 men. It was a calculated gamble. Kim believed the United States, already struggling in Vietnam, would not risk a second major conflict in Asia to retrieve the ship. The gamble worked. After months of parading the crew on television, the North Koreans forced the U.S. government to sign an official apology to secure their release. The Pueblo incident provided the regime with a template. Provocations that stop just short of war allow them to claim victory over a superpower and tighten their grip on the population. In 1976, this strategy nearly failed. North Korean soldiers murdered 2 American officers who were trimming a tree that blocked the view between guard posts in the demilitarized zone. The U.S. response, Operation Paul Bunyan, was massive. They sent bombers, fighter jets, and an aircraft carrier to protect the crew finishing the job. Faced with an armada, Kim Il-sung did not choose a suicidal war. He issued the first official expression of regret in his regime's history. This climb-down reveals the internal logic at work. When faced with certain defeat, the Kims prioritize survival over pride. They precisely identify the line of total destruction and stop just before they cross it. Today, Kim Jong-un uses his grandfather's fashion and mannerisms to trigger memories of that era's perceived stability. Across 3 generations, the regime's actions have followed one consistent rule. Every policy must prioritize keeping the Kim family in power. The nuclear program is the final step in this plan. It functions as a safeguard, ensuring that the cost of any attempted regime change remains too high for the United States to pay. To survive in a world that wants your dynasty gone, you don't act crazy. You simply follow the blueprint.